Good evening. Thanks for joining me this Sunday on 7Edition. I'm Haylena Krishnamoorthy and these are tonight's top stories. Police on the hunt for convenience store child molester. Man who fatally mowed down a fellow villager sent to the gallows. And millions praised for flooding as tropical storm Barry barrels inland. We begin tonight's bulletin with this story. Police are on the hunt for a man who allegedly molested a 9-year-old girl at a convenience store in Bandar Country Homes near Gombak, Selangor 2 days ago. District Police Chief ACP Samsul Maruf said in the 6:19 p.m. incident, the suspect, who has yet to be identified, hugged the child from behind before running away. In a statement today, Samsul said the girl's father lodged a police report after finding out about the incident from his wife at 8 p.m. the same day, and added that efforts to track down and arrest the suspect are underway. The case is being investigated under the Sexual Offences Against Children Act. CCTV footage of the incident, which has gone viral on social media, caused an uproar among netizens who called on the authorities to nab and charge the suspect with sexual assault as soon as possible. Now, Kelantan police have arrested 7 men, including a Thai teenager, and seized various drugs worth 196,000 ringgit in 3 separate raids in Tanah Merah and Pasir Mas last Friday. The seizure included 18,500 amphetamine pills, 150 Aramin 5 pills, and shabu. State Police Chief Dato' Azmi Abdul Qasim said that some of the drugs were supplied by a Thai man who lives in Sungai Golo. 3 of the suspects also have past criminal records, while the Thai teenager tested positive for drugs. All of those detained, aged 19 to 28, were remanded for a week to facilitate investigations under the Dangerous Drugs Act. A lorry driver was sent to the gallows by the Kuala Terengganu High Court today after he was found guilty of murdering his fellow villager by mowing down the victim with a car 5 years ago. The accused, 45-year-old Azami Muhammad, appeared calm when the death sentence was meted out by Judge Dato' Zainal Azman Abdul Aziz. The accused was charged with killing 49-year-old Rohadi Zakaria on the road of Kampung Jelapang, Sungai Tong in Setiu on October 2, 2014. He committed the offence, framed under the Penal Code, by running over Rohadi with a Proton Gen 2 following an argument with Rohadi at a coffee shop. Azami was also charged with attempted murder and for making false reports under the same code. This as the accused had attempted to run over another villager, 48-year-old Zakaria Taib, using the same car at the same place and time. He then made a false police report over the incident, claiming the 2 victims stopped his car while wielding a parang and he knocked into them to escape. There are no criminal elements in a pre-dawn fire in Banting, Selangor, which saw 2 sisters perish. Kuala Langat Police Chief Superintendent Azizan Tukiman said the 3 a.m. fire at their home at Jalan Utama Kampung Indah was sparked by a short circuit. Both victims were identified as Nur Salsabila Muhammad Fakrul Khair and Nur Ain Sumaya, aged 16 and 13 respectively. It was reported earlier that the sisters' remains were found in the bedroom after the blaze was put out by firemen. The house, occupied by a family of 5, was razed in an hour as it was 100% made of wood. It was understood that the victims' parents were not at home during the incident as they were helping to prepare food for firemen who were battling another fire at a chemical plant in the Pulau Indah Industrial Park. The remains were sent to Banting Hospital for post-mortem. A 1.3-meter-long dolphin was found stranded on the beach in Kuching, Sarawak around 1:30 p.m. today. It took 3 personnel from the Petra Jaya Fire and Rescue Department to heave the mammal back into deeper water at Kampung Trombol, Telaga Air. The rescue team took almost 2 hours to free the dolphin in the operation, which ended at 3:10 p.m. It is believed that the dolphin is from the Indo-Pacific bottlenose dolphin species, which lives in the waters around India, northern Australia, South China, the Red Sea and the eastern coast of Africa. Although uncommon, marine mammals such as dolphins, porpoises and even whales can be found roaming in Malaysian waters. Collectively known as cetaceans, these creatures may be found along the east and west coast of Peninsular Malaysia as well as along the coast of Sabah and Sarawak. Also in Selangor, 2 people were injured when the bus they were in was rammed by a trailer at the North-South Expressway near Bukit Beruntung early this morning. It was said that the trailer driver lost control of the vehicle before it rammed into the rear of the bus, which had broke down at the emergency lane of the highway at about 3:30 a.m. The trailer driver sustained head injuries, while 1 bus passenger was slightly injured. Both were rushed to the Sungai Buloh Hospital for treatment. Elsewhere in Negeri Sembilan, police are tracking down the driver of a Proton Wajah in connection with a hit-and-run accident which killed a motorcyclist earlier today. 28-year-old R.M. Anandan was killed on the spot in the 2:30 a.m. incident along Jalan Lukut, Sepang. Police said a Wajah driver believed to have lost control of the vehicle before colliding with the motorcyclist in the opposite lane. The car was later found abandoned near the Ambang Kota food court in Port Dickson. Checks on the vehicle found it registered under the name of Ting Ting Ming and bearing postal address in Sepang, Selangor. Efforts to detect the Proton Wajah driver is underway and people with any information are urged to contact the nearest police station. Moving on, the Public Accounts Committee (PAC) has unanimously agreed to table the report on the reclaim of credit for taxes paid under the Goods and Services Tax (GST) amounting to 19.4 billion ringgit tomorrow, 1 day earlier than scheduled. Its chairman, Datuk Dr. Noraini Ahmad, in a statement today said it was to avoid further speculations on the report, which can be downloaded from the PAC's website once it is tabled at the Day One Rakyat. Earlier on Wednesday, the committee said the report would be tabled on Tuesday after it was unanimously finalised by its 13 members at the PAC report verification meeting. The committee took 11 months from August 15, 2018 to finish the report in 10 meetings. This came after Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng revealed in August last year that the previous government had failed to pay 19.4 billion ringgit in GST refunds since its implementation in April 2015 to May 31, 2018. He also revealed that there was only 1.49 billion ringgit left in the repayment fund. Perak Exco member Abdul Yunus Jamhari has lodged a police report after he was accused of soliciting kickbacks from 2 companies. The Kuala Kurau assemblyman said the allegation is an act of vengeance by several party members, including his former special officer. Abdul Yunus said the allegation is believed to be masterminded by his former special aide, who owns an illegal factory, which is facing action by authorities. He added this came after the individual's application for a land deal was not approved.
Selain laporan polis yang dibuat oleh saya pada pagi ini, saya juga akan membuat satu laporan kepada lembaga disiplin parti berkaitan penglibatan beberapa individu anggota parti yang terbabit dalam kes fitnah serta tuduhan palsu yang dilempar terhadap saya. Saya juga akan membuat laporan rasmi kepada Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia tentang penglibatan seorang guru yang turut bersubahat melakukan fitnah dan tuduhan palsu dengan tujuan menjatuhkan saya dan menggugat kestabilan kerajaan.
Yesterday, Korean Municipal Council member Bae Yong Kian lodged a police report against an unnamed Perak Exco member for allegedly leaking classified state government meeting minutes to a third party. The Parit Buntar PKR committee member, who declined to reveal the person's identity, claimed that the act was committed in exchange for commissions from 2 agricultural companies in relation to a land deal. A fundraiser will be launched to help 12-year-old myokemia patient Irfan Wafe Idham Wazir to receive treatment for the disease. Johor Exco member Aminul Huda Hassan said a special committee would also be formed to look into the best possible ways to treat the boy, including treatment overseas. Irfan Wafe is expected to receive treatment after sitting for his UPSR exams in September. It was reported that the boy was admitted to the hospital after suffering breathing difficulties during the Sungai Kim Kim toxic pollution incident in March. He was diagnosed with myokemia after he was referred to the Kuala Lumpur hospital. The toxic pollution in Sungai Kim Kim affected some 4,000 residents in the Pasir Gudang area, leading to the temporary closure of 111 schools in Johor. Now on that note, Aminul Huda also hopes that the Department of Environment, DOE, would continue landing its gas detectors to at least 10 schools, which are located near industrial areas in Pasir Gudang. He said this is to allow teachers to continue monitoring the air quality in their schools and take prompt action should things go bad, as some areas in Pasir Gudang are still emanating unpleasant smells, despite showing normal reading on the gas detector.
Yang terbaiknya kalau ada alam, kita fixkan, katakan nak berapa dia punya tahap. Kalau katakan gas tadi sampai satu tahap, dia berbunyi. Jadi maknanya kita tahu dah dia ada alam yang berbunyi, kesan daripada gas yang tidak sesuai untuk pernafasan kepada murid dan kepada manusia.
On July 1st, gas detectors from the department to measure volatile organic compounds were supplied to the 111 primary and secondary schools in Pasir Gudang. The move was to help teachers prepare for any eventuality, such as vacating the classrooms on the 3rd or 4th floor. Up next, horror as dog gets dragged on road. Don't go anywhere. We're back with foreign news. In the US, Barry made landfall on Saturday night in Louisiana as a Category 1 hurricane before being downgraded into a tropical storm. All flights in and out of the Louis Armstrong New Orleans International Airport were cancelled. Thousands evacuated their hames and first responders were poised for action. Let's go over to our fellow producer Shafiqa Razali for the details.
Thanks, Haylena. Now, a tropical storm, Barry, is expected to weaken further as it travels inward with a maximum sustained winds of 75 kilometers per hour, and it's predicted to subside into a tropical depression later today. As of 3 p.m. Malaysian time, the storm was located west of the city of Alexandria, moving north at 12 kilometers per hour. The storm, as you can see, will last until at least Tuesday. But the concern now is Louisiana, where an emergency state is in place. It made landfall in the state, where forecasters warned of potentially life-threatening floods later in the day. More than 100,000 households in the area are already without power. Now, the worst of the storm is expected to hit the west part of New Orleans and affect the wider region. Experts warn that the water the storm brings is potentially more dangerous than the wind alone. The National Hurricane Center said the rapid rise in small streams and creeks in the area will result in flooding on some rivers and rapid ponding of water that may overwhelm local drainage capacities due to excessive rainfall. The National Weather Service warned that the Mississippi River could crest 5 meters during the storm after coastal storm surge overtopped levees by midday Saturday. For many, the storm and potentially for large-scale flooding revived unpleasant memories of deadly Hurricane Katrina, which was the costliest and deadliest hurricane in recent U.S. history, where it submerged about 80% of the city after its levee system failed, causing some 1,800 deaths and more than $150 billion in damage. Well, that's all I have for now, Haylena. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks for that, Shafika. In the meantime, power have been restored across the country's most populous city, Manhattan in New York, just before midnight on Saturday after widespread power outages disrupted traffic and subway systems as well as businesses, sending tens of thousands of people onto darkened streets. Authorities scrambled to restore electricity, struggling to fix transformers that kept tripping as more than 73,000 people were affected for at least 3 hours. G company 7Edition said the power failed at 6:47 p.m. local time, mainly on the west side. The blackout stretched from 72nd Street to the West 40s and from 5th Avenue to the Hudson River, including Rockefeller Center. Times Square's towering electronic screens were knocked out and marquees in the theatre district were darkened. Pop star Jennifer Lopez was even forced to call off her concert at Madison Square Garden. Firefighters were also responding to reports of people being trapped in elevators. Train operators were able to manually bring at least one door to a subway station, and briefly trapped passengers managed to get out. Some locals took the effort to take charge in the busy streets as traffic lights went down. As midnight draws near, at about 10 p.m. local time, the lights came back on and cheers filled the streets. 7Edition said the last of the 6 power grid networks that were down had been restored. The city's mayor Bill de Blasio said on Twitter that the outage was caused by a manhole fire, but later told CNN it was under investigation. Now let's hop on to our daily segment Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making the rounds in the cyber world today. It is always an unfortunate case to discover animals being neglected to death. Recently, netizens were outraged as the footage of a dog being tied and dragged at the back of a moving car in Thailand surfaced on Facebook, raking in over 31,000 views. Here's a disclaimer: visuals that we are about to show you contain graphic content, so viewers' discretion is advised. In the minute-long video, the moving vehicle could be seen dragging the motionless dog by the neck. According to Thailand news website Coconuts Bangkok, the dog's owner had a surprise visit by a guest and tied the dog to the back of the person's car. The owner assumed that the guest would untie the dog's chain before leaving the family's residence. Unfortunately, the dog named Kanom Jean was still chained to the car and dragged on the road till its death. The dog was then left abandoned on the road after the body was detached from the chain. To make matters worse, a 67-year-old motorcyclist did not notice the pooch's body and ran over it when he was reported to have suffered severe injuries from the accident. Many netizens flooded the comment section, expressing their frustration and empathy for the poor dog. Coconuts Bangkok reported that the owner has since apologized over the tragic incident, but some internet users think that the owner is simply faking the story. And now, updated as of 7 p.m, here are the top trending topics and searches on the internet today. When we return. Thanks for staying with us. Drivers can now gain superior driving skills from advanced training sessions on professional racing circuits to help build confidence and optimize their knowledge behind the wheel. Under the guidance of fully certified experts, BMW Malaysia offers customers the opportunity to help master the challenges of everyday driving and how to steer clear of any unexpected dangers. Wan Izul Islam finds out more.
The advanced training module held at the Sepang International Circuit includes a multitude of thrilling exercises executed in a controlled environment. The exercises were designed to sharpen specific driving skills in order to have total control of the vehicle in any situation. practical exercises will teach drivers the right seating posture, along with precise, swift steering, as well as how to overcome potential hazards at speeds between 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. For this exercise, we will be practicing understeering and oversteering. That's when you take very sharp corners and try to control your vehicle after taking that corner. Going at 40 kilometers per hour, and I'm going to take this turn at 40. And there we go. Now we're going to turn up the speed to 50 kilometers per hour and try our best to maintain stability and control of the car while taking that very sharp turn. Okay, for the next exercise that we're about to do for the BMW driving experience is to change lanes at a limited or a set speed. So we're going to be going at 60 kilometers per hour right now, and we have to avoid an obstacle in front of us by changing lanes without pressing on the brake. Alright, so now the next exercise is lane changing at a very high speed. So I'm going 60 kilometers per hour right now, and I have to lane change to the right. I think I hit the cone. The line braking exercise where you drive in a straight line forward at the desired speed or the limited speed, and you press hard on the brake to allow for the ABS, the anti-lock brake system, to take place on this car. Now, right now we're going at 80 kilometers per hour, and we're going to, and we have to lift our hands up once we reach the destination or the braking gates. All right, let's see how this goes.
1, 2, get ready and go.
Kilometers per hour, and
Very good.
wow. Internationally trained instructors with motorsport experience will help guide drivers throughout the BMW driver training and will provide both theory and practical examinations. Each driver at the end of the training will be able to put their skills to the test in the Slalom Time Attack Challenge, driving the BMW 330i M Sports Series.
What we have done today basically is allowing them to learn all the defensive driving skill in terms of applying emergency brake, in terms of avoiding obstacles, right? In terms of handling the car in the right way, so that this will reduce the rate of accidents and enhance their knowledge in terms of handling these cars.
We learn the very basic safety about driving that we don't learn in the typical driving school. Right? Like what does it mean by understeer and how do you overcome it, and what does it mean by oversteer and how do you overcome it. But actually this is the typical danger that we face in our day-to-day route, but we are not aware of it.
All drivers at the end of the session will receive an official certificate of achievement signed by the instructors. One is Islam, 7Edition.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it is actually a flying Frenchman at a parade in Paris. Inventor and entrepreneur Frankie Zapata was recently seen soaring above the Champs-Élysées on a turbine-engine-powered flyboard for the annual Bastille Day. Take a look at the thrilling visual as we wrap up 7 Edition this evening. With that, I'm Haylena Krishnamoorthy. Till we meet again, good night.